When adding totals, formulas, and functions in a spreadsheet program, you can do that ahead of time. You do not have to actually have any numbers before you set up your totals. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the bottom of my spreadsheet. I'm going to skip a line, so I'm going to leave 34 blank. I'm going to click in cell A35, and I'm going to have a total for just my expenses. Because I have two expenses, I have fixed expenses and variable, I'm going to add those up just to make sure you know how to do formulas and functions. I'm going to hit Tab to come over to the right-hand side and just accept that. I'm going to skip another blank line to put in my net income. Net income is your total income, which is your gross income, minus your expenses. That becomes your net income, what is left, okay? So this formula is going to be our total income minus our total expenses, which is why we need it. I'm going to click and hold in A35 and scroll over to B35. I'm going to bold, and I'm going to add my top and bottom border. And now I'm going to use my Format Painter icon because it's much faster. I'm going to just click my little paint roller once, and then I'm going to click and hold on A37. Click and hold, drag over to the right, and release. And now we have done all of that formatting very quickly. So I'm going to go back up to my income. And my income formula, all formulas begin with an equal sign. So I'm going to start this one because I'm doing addition and subtraction. I am going to start with the equal sign, and I'm going to click on the first number that I want to add. So I want to add whatever my total is for income. So I'm going to click in that cell. If I'm working a part-time job, I need to add. So I'm going to shift plus my part-time job. I'm going to click. Notice I'm physically clicking on those cells and not trying to look and see, oh, that's B6, and type in B6. Let the computer do the work for you. That will minimize your errors. I'm still in this formula, so anything I touch with my mouse or with my hands on the keyboard is going to affect this formula. So it's super important that you are paying attention to what you're doing and just typing in that formula. The next thing I need to do is subtract my taxes, because I'm going to hit my minus sign, because our taxes reduce the amount of money in your paycheck. And I'm going to click on cell B7. So right where my tax number would be once I do it. Now my formula is done. To accept it and finish it, I'm just going to hit my enter key. Boom. If I use my mouse to click out of it, it's going to continue to add those different cells. So you want to just hit your enter key. With our fixed expenses, this is going to be a sum function. So I'm going to click in the cell that's to the right of total fixed expenses, and I'm going to use my sum function. It's up here in the upper right-hand corner of my toolbar. It's that sigma, that backwards E. I'm going to click on that down arrow, and I'm going to pick that first one. Sum means addition. It means I want you to add everything from a certain range. So I'm going to click the sum, and because my cursor was in B22, it automatically puts that function in that cell. So you can see it already wrote for you =, sum, and then there's a set of parentheses, and you can see your cursor blinking in the middle of that parentheses. It's waiting for you to tell it what's the range you want it to add. So I am going to click up here. See my cursor? I'm not clicking yet. Right to my first item of fixed expenses. I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to drag, and I am going to release at the last item and hit enter. So see how it put B12 colon B21? That means add everything within that range. And I'm going to hit enter, and now that is saved. I'm going to do the same thing for variable expenses. I'm going to click where I want that total to show up. I'm going to go up to my functions, click the sum function, and I am going to click and hold to the right of savings. You want to make sure that you're grabbing all of those items. We don't want to miss any, then our totals will be wrong. And release and enter to save. The last two are expenses. They're just addition. It's not a sum function. We're not doing a range. We're doing individual. So I'm going to start with my =, and I'm going to click. I want to add my total fixed expenses. I'm going to click into that cell, and we can see it appear in my formula. I'm going to shift plus because I want to add my total variable. So I'm going to click in that cell as well. So you can see it's adding the number in B22 plus the number in B33. Once I put numbers in, it will automatically calculate for me, and I'm going to hit enter. The last one, my net income, is a formula as well. So I start all formulas with an equal sign. My net income is my total income. So I'm going to go back up. I'm going to click wherever my total income is going to be, which is right there. And I am subtracting my total expenses. So I hit my minus sign and I scroll down, and I'm going to click on total expenses. So it's B8 minus B35, and hit enter to save. Those are your formulas and functions.